Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Brass Monkey X. So you guys remember my dogs, Kimber and Stella there? Stella is the boxer, a big fat boxer of mine. And then Kimber is our little border collie mix. Well, Kimber was outside yesterday afternoon, and she was standing up here on this hill in between those three trees there. And she was doing that pointer thing where she's just standing there with the one leg up and she was pointing and just staring at the ground. And I was upstairs in my kitchen and I'm looking down at her and I was like, what the heck is she pointing at, right? So I come running down here and I say, Kimber, what do you got? And she looks up at me and she just barks, like this low bark. She just woof, real low bark. So I go over there and she puts her nose down on the ground and flips up a baby squirrel. So thankfully she didn't attack it. She did find a baby bunny once and tried to play with that and ended up eating the thing. So that was a mess. Stella, on the other hand, if Stella was out here, I think it wouldn't have went very well. I don't know. Stella is pretty protective. I mean, she has gotten a hold of baby animals before and just kind of smacked them around. And she hasn't killed them. But if she gets a hold of, like, one of those groundhogs that we have, like, I have a groundhog problem here on the opposite side of my fence. And they torment my poor dogs. As you can see, they're just out of reach of the dogs there. There's holes all along the other side of the fence. And my dogs go nuts for these things. I swear, if they ever get a hold of one, it's going to be a bloodbath. But anyway, so Kimber was alerting me of this little squirrel yesterday. So I went over there. He didn't seem too injured. He seemed to be pretty okay. So what I did was, see, if you guys don't notice about me, I used to be an animal control officer before I started doing armed security. So I know a little bit about wildlife. I actually have certifications in like wildlife management and forestry and stuff like that too. But I ended up never pursuing that as a career. So I do know a little bit about wildlife. So I took the little fella, and I didn't want any predators to get him or anything. So what I did was I put him in a box, and inside that box I put a little shop rag in there to try and keep him warm. But I mean, he's gonna stay warm because he actually does have all of his fur already. If I had to guess, I'd say he's about 3 weeks, maybe almost 4. His eyes are almost open. But let me give you a look. So I left him down at the base of the tree yesterday. I left him down there in that box hoping the mother would come back, and unfortunately she didn't come back yesterday, and we had a pretty bad thunderstorm that was rolling in, so I had to bring him in the house. So I brought him in for the night, and you want to keep him warm, so I left him in that box, right? He's in my garage. I couldn't bring him in the actual house or the dogs would have went nuts. And I covered him up with my shop coat like that, just to keep him warm overnight. And it stayed... It wasn't bad in here. Right now it's only like 55. But last night it was pretty warm from the thunderstorm. It was close to 70 in here. So, I mean, he stayed fine overnight. So I came down to check on him this morning, and I was going to feed him. So if you're ever going to do this, guys, and you want to feed them, don't ever give them regular milk from like the grocery store. That stuff's like poison to them. Don't give them anything. Don't give them water. The only thing you should ever give them, if you're going to attempt to care for one of these, is something like this. Okay, this is a milk replacer. You can get the puppy formula one, or you could get the kitten one. Either one will work. The instructions to mix it are on the back. It's usually 2 parts water to 1 parts powder. It almost looks like a protein powder, and it smells like protein powder that's gone bad. Now, the one I got, I found this at the store, this little bottle. The syringes are better for small animals like this, but as long as it's got the nipple on the top, you cut a little hole in the nipple, and you fill this up. You're not going to use all of this at all. You're only going to give them a little bit. They're not going to drink all that. You can overfeed, and that's not good for them. So, but let me show you guys. I already attempted to feed him this morning. I attempted last night too, and he wasn't having it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little guy back outside again today under that same tree. I'm going to hope that the mother comes back. I'm going to monitor him and make sure no predators or anything come by. When I let the dogs out, I'll make sure the dogs don't mess with him. But hopefully the mother comes back for him. He seems pretty healthy. He's quite feisty. If you are going to handle wildlife, guys, make sure you put on a pair of gloves. You don't have to, but I mean, you really should. I actually did find 3 fleas on this little guy. So I picked the fleas off of him, and I got rid of the fleas. So, you know, hopefully my girls don't catch them. But I mean, my girls are good. They have their flea and tick meds and everything. So, but this is the little setup I got for him here. It's nothing fancy. All you really need is a box. You want to keep him comfortable. If you want, you could put him inside of like a hat. If you have like a knit hat or something, like a Scully, they do like that as well. And it's especially if they don't have any fur on them yet. Like this little guy, like I said, he's got all of his fur. He's a juvenile. He does have his fur. His eyes aren't open yet though. So like I said, he's probably about 3 to 4 weeks old. You can handle them. Now he did have a little bit of a bloody nose, I assume from the fall from the nest. So there was a tiny little bit of blood in the box on the corner there because he rubbed his nose up on it. But I mean, he's pretty content. I mean, you want to make sure that they're warm. Again, you can go ahead and touch them. And as long as they're warm, they're okay. But like I said, with the box, what I did was I gave him a shop cloth on the one side. So if he wants to cuddle up and get warm in there, he can. But if he wants to cool off a little bit, he can go over to the other side and just lay on the cardboard. But again, like I said, if you're going to handle them, because you can pick them up to try and feed them. I use these gloves here. They're just Gorilla gloves. They're my shop gloves. But yeah, he's a cute little guy. Hopefully the mother comes back. I can show you guys how you pick them up if you want to feed them. It's tough while I'm trying to film. But if you just reach down in there, he'll grab onto you. Like he's scared. Poor little thing's terrified right now. You could just pick him up like this. And then you go ahead and grab the bottle in the hand that I have the camera in. And you go ahead and just try and stick that right in their mouth there. And if they're hungry, they'll suck on it. If not, they'll keep pushing it away like he was doing. So I tried twice, and he kept pushing it away. He just likes to kind of sleep. He just wants to rest. He was making some noises yesterday. It was actually kind of cute. There you go, if you listen real close. I don't know if the camera's picking it up. It's making his little squirrel noises. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you guys what you do with a squirrel if you find one like that, like a little baby squirrel. So like I said, to recap, you want to leave them where they are pretty much. Leave them at the base of the tree that you found them at. Hopefully the mother comes back. If not, don't ever leave them out overnight because a predator will get them. It's okay to bring them inside, but make sure you keep them warm. Now you could use like a water bottle, heat it up, put it under the whatever you're putting in there, like wrap it in a towel, put it in the corner if they need to stay warm that way. If they do have their fur like this guy, they should be okay. You don't really have to use like a heating blanket or anything like that, or the water bottle. Just keep them wrapped up, keep them warm, and then the next day, try it again. Put them back outside, which is what I'm about to go do. You're going to monitor them, keep an eye on them. And then if you think you have the know-how and you're willing to try this, if the mother does not come back, bring them in the house every night. You know what I mean? Don't leave them out there for predators. You can attempt to feed them with this stuff. If it's beyond your capabilities, contact somebody. Call a wildlife rescue if you can. The one that I used to use when I did animal control, unfortunately, they're not taking any more animals this year. They're already full. So I'm going to attempt to rehab this guy myself if the mother doesn't come back. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring him in every night, attempt to feed him. If not, put him back outside, hope the mother comes back. Because I have a ton of squirrels in my yard, guys. I get a bunch of them back there all day long. So, like I said, hopefully the mother's coming back. If not, looks like I'm caring for a squirrel until he's big enough to run away on his own. So I'm just going to keep doing this night after night until his eyes open up and he gets too frisky for me to handle. And I'm not going to get a cage or nothing. I'm just going to keep putting him outside until he gets curious and wanders off on his own and can take care of himself. So I'll keep posted updates. I'll let you guys know how it goes if anything changes. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.